Welcome to yet another API tutorial. This one's in Java. Java is going to take a few more lines of code to get an API. We're going to learn about using a URL to retrieve information from the internet. We're going to learn about parsing JSON in Java, which requires an external library. It's not built into Java. We have read through this before, back when we were doing Python. There's lots of public APIs. I put 3 assignments in there because MeowFax for some reason stopped working when I was going to first record this video. So I thought, well, I'll put another cat video there, but then I thought, oh, we should have a dog video. Well, it doesn't matter. What we do, if you go here, you can see the raw JSON data. So if I go to, let's see, there's my, if I click on this, I get a dog fact. And what I did is I selected and copied this, but in Firefox, if you go to raw data and pretty print, then it makes it look pretty. So we have 2 pieces. We have a dictionary. These little curly braces mean that this is a dictionary. This is the key. This is a list. But there's only one item in the list, so that means we access it with 0. Here's another key. This is not a list, and it's true. We don't need this particular part of the JSON return, but we have to handle it anyway. So we're going to use a parser called the Jackson JSON parser. It's very commonly used in Java. So here we are with our dog facts. I'm going to do this. There we are in my downloads folder. We need to, in our folder, we need to make a SRC folder. It's kind of a standard Java project layout, and an LIB folder for our libraries. Well, we need to download these guys. So if you click on it, it's going to come up and ask you to download a jar file. So we'll put the jar files in here. There's 3 of them. Jar is a compressed file full of Java bytecode. It's already precompiled and ready to use. It's much like when we use a Python module or a Python library. All right, so now we have all 3 of those guys in there. There. So the libraries are in here. Now in source, we need to create a couple files. We're going to create a dog facts data. There's that guy. And we also need the application. So dog facts, and I just called it app.java. And we already get our little class and all that business going on, and I misspelled dog facts. So I'm going to go back, press F2 to open it up. Press enter. My Red Hat extension wants to rename it, so I rename it. We are going to start with the dog facts data file. This is a class file that when we retrieve the JSON, we use the JSON parser, Jackson, to parse the JSON into this class, into an object made of this class. Then we can get that information out by using the methods that are in there. Well, how do we come up with that in the first place? Do we just make it up? Did I just decide one day and just created it? Oh, here's a part that I didn't look at. If you go down here and look at Java projects, you should see your reference libraries. There's your Jackson. There's your programs. And away we go. So I'm going to put that back down out of the road. Oh, click this guy. There we go. So how did I do that? Well, I didn't make it up. I took this and copied it and used a JSON to Java to convert the JSON to a plain old Java object, which is also referred to as a POJO. So I'm going to go to that website and I'm going to paste it in. It generates some stuff, And there it is. Well, we don't need this part, and the class name is wrong. However, everything else is just fine. So I'm going to copy this, go down to my program. There it is. Go into the dog facts, make a little more room here to work, and paste it in there. Well, the only thing wrong is this class name's wrong. So let's change it to dog facts data. There we go. Now if I do my Alt-Shift-F to format things, see how nice it looks? We are not using the Boolean success. We do not care about that, but we have to handle it because it comes back with the JSON. But we don't have to get it. We just want to get the facts. So when the Jackson parser brings in the JSON, it uses the set to set the information into the object, and then when we retrieve it to display it, we use get to get it out of it. So why is this an array? Well, because even though there's one part of it, this is a list in Python, which converts to an array in Java. All right, so you can see I put in some commenting in here, and I also added in an override for a public string to string, so it's easier to display this. So I'm not going to type that all in. I'm going to copy it and paste it in for the purposes of this video. There. So when I print the class, when I print the object, it's going to print the dog facts, and this dot facts index 0 means I'm going to get the first dog fact, and I only have one dog fact. So have I actually used the get facts? No, but it's a good idea to just leave it all in there in case you need it later. You never know. It doesn't hurt anything. All right. So now, yes, I'm not going to copy that whole thing. I'm just going to copy and paste it, and we'll take a look at it. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so yes, this is a lot more lines. We have to, when we're doing I/O, we have to handle the exception. We need this guy. Whoops, he's in the wrong place. We need this guy, the URL and the URI. They work together. Uniform resource, I don't know what the I means. URI reference? Okay, Uniform Resource Identifier. We use that to create a URL. Of course, this is our keyboard entry. We have to have these guys in order to use our JSON libraries. So this is new. We've never imported any of these before. So there's some new stuff. This is how you access stuff over the internet. This is what we use to convert JSON into an object. And then we pull the information out of the object. We pull the attribute out of the object. Well, we need our API endpoint. Regular string. Well, it's private. Final static. Do we need it to be private? Not particularly. It's automatically private. So we can just do final static string. If you don't put that in, it's automatically private. Makes it a little shorter, but we'll leave it in there to be explicit. Better to be explicit than implicit. All right, so now we create, from our class, we create a fact object. That fact object has all of these attributes and gets and setters and the toString. We're going to use that in a minute. I did a character, so I could have a menu that says, oh, let's fetch some more. So we're going to fetch data. I created a little method down here. So we take our API, convert it into a uniform resource, whatever it is, and then we use that to convert it to a URL so that we can surf to that place with our Java, surf to that web address with our Java program. Now here is our object mapper. Well, it takes the raw JSON data, reads the raw JSON data into our plain old Java object. So here's where it does it. Object mapper dot read value, the URL right here is going to read the JSON in, and then it's going to put it into our object. So far, so good. It's now in our object. All of this are required exception handling that we have to have. It's required by the library. Now once we get up here, we go fact to string. Well, how did our information get to the string? When we set the facts, this value coming in went to this dot facts. We're pulling the first piece of information out of this dot facts, and we get our information from our object. So it's a little bit of convoluted stuff. However, it is one way to get information out of a API with Java. The good news is I use this same framework for each of these three programs. Let's make sure it works. We can get a dog fact. Okay, I have no idea what it thinks it's doing there. There we go. And we can get another one, we can get another one, we can get another one. Okay, if we don't want to keep going, type in. There we are. We'll see you later.